Hello again, everybody. Are you ready for the second part of our story, our remembering story for Remembrance Week this week? And if you remember, yesterday we found out about Captain Sir Tom Moore, his early life and when he was a child. And isn't it interesting that he was good and well behaved when he was at school, just like you are now? And he's gone on to achieve such amazing things and to inspire other people. I think he's a very optimistic person, and by that I mean I think he always looks on the bright side even when things are difficult, and that's a really, really good skill to try to develop, I think. So yeah, so Tom Moore is inspiring me as well this week. So if you remember, we'd already read about when he went off to war, into those places, into the jungle, and he had some great adventures there, even though it was quite scary, I'm sure, at times. And now he's back home and he was working with his dad, who was a builder, just like some of your dads are. And now we're going to read the next part of his story, which is where he starts his family life. So let's get going. The greatest adventure of Tom's life began when he met Pamela. He thought she was the most beautiful person he had ever seen, and he made excuses to travel the great distance between their hometowns to see her. And before long, they fell deeply in love. And by the looks of this picture, this looks like a drawing of their wedding day. You see the people throwing confetti. There he is as a young man, just getting married. How lovely. After Tom and Pamela got married, they had two little girls, Lucy and Hannah. They taught the girls about cooking and about fixing engines. Hannah was the smallest, so her job was to change the oil in the car. Tom had never forgotten the lesson that his mother had taught him. No matter who you are, you can do and be anything you want. Do you remember when his mum taught him that when he was a really little boy? Well, here he is, and now it's his turn to be teaching his daughters that there under the car and reading this important message. You can do and be anything you want. I think those two little girls were lucky to have him as their dad. As the years went by, Tom and Pamela's family grew and grew and grew. Lucy and Hannah had children of their own, and there were always new dogs. So his two daughters went on to have their own children, and before long, there's Tom, look at the side, his family was really large. Over the years, Tom made sure that the family had lots of adventures and their days were filled with laughter and mischief. And the dogs made more mischief than anyone. Well, I think that's always the case, isn't it? But sadly, when Pamela was 63 years old, she got sick, and 8 years later, she passed away. Without Pamela, Tom was very, very sad, but he surrounded himself with his family, and they helped him to find happy days again. In fact, these years were the happiest of his life so far. His family showed Tom that at the end of the storm, there is always a golden sky. So even though we all have tough times in life, there are better things to come. And Sir Tom's family helped him, even though he was feeling sad, to find the fun and joy and simple things that actually make us happy. They certainly kept him busy fixing things, vacuum cleaners, washing machines and skateboards even. He kept an eye on the garden, even though things didn't always go to plan, and he made sure to go off on the odd adventure, like travelling once more to Everest, so that he could finally see it with his own eyes. Do you know how old he was, children, when he took that journey? He was 90 years old when he decided to take that long, long journey to go to see if he could finally see Everest, because it's something he'd always wanted to do. He could hardly believe it when he saw Everest at last, the mountain rising bold and majestic ahead of him. It took his breath away. And here's an important message. It's never too late for one more adventure. There he is, an old man now, 90 years old, but he decided to have one more adventure. So, when a dangerous disease swept around the world, and we know that because we're living with it, aren't we, at the moment, Tom knew he had to do something to help others, just as his family had helped him. And together, they had the idea. So there he is at home. Can you see? Just having a look and watching the news like we all do and thinking, goodness me, I wonder if there's anything that I could do to help, because that's the kind of man he is. I want to help to raise money. And he decided he would do this by walking 100 lengths of his garden in time for his 100th birthday. Every day, the 99-year-old Tom went out into the garden and, slowly but surely, walked step after step after step. And there he is when we were all shut in our houses. He went out in his garden with his walker to help him to stay steady and walked step after step after step. And before he knew it, children, the whole world was watching him. And that's true. I bet you can remember seeing Sir Tom on the news when he was doing his walk. The whole world was watching him because one step, one action, one step has the power to inspire 100 more. And all of the world came up with ideas of things they could do to be inspirational like Sir Tom. Oh, and look, there he is, the Queen. I saw the Queen this morning at the cenotaph. The Queen there, she's doing something called knighting him, which is, he was already a captain from the war, but the Queen there has made him a Sir in honour of all the things that he has done. Tom couldn't believe how many cards arrived for his 100th birthday. As he read the outpourings of love and admiration, he thought about all the people who had written to him and what he would like to say in reply. And this is what he said to everybody. First of all, just look at all those cards that got sent through to him. There he is with his grandchildren and great-grandchildren. And this is what Sir Tom wanted to say to all of them. For all of those finding it difficult right now, the sun will shine on you again, and the clouds will go away. Remember that tomorrow will be a good day. I'm just going to read that again because it's such a comforting message. This is what he wrote out to everybody. For all those finding it difficult just now, the sun will shine on you again, and the clouds will go away. Remember that tomorrow will be a good day. And there's the story of Captain Sir Tom Moore. What an inspirational story. There's so much that we can learn from this gentleman. And I love how we've learned, there he is in real life, not in drawings. As a young man, there he is, as an officer in the Second World War. And there he is now. There, look, what a proud man with his medals from the war. And that's when he was outside there in his garden doing his sponsored walk, and he raised, I think he raised thousands if not millions of pounds to help people. So this gentleman really is an inspiration to all of us, and I think he wanted to send some messages of optimism, of looking forward, of understanding that this will get better, things will get better, we'll be able to do lots of things again into the future, and just to remember to look for the good in things, to look for how we can help other people, and really look after each other and our families. So I'm going to be having a little think about all of the people who helped in the war on Wednesday and all through this week. But I'm also going to think about Sir Tom Moore, who's still here and still helping, I think, to make our world a better place. So I really hope you've enjoyed his story, and I'll see you tomorrow when it will actually be Remembrance Day. Okay, I will see you soon. Have a good day, everybody. Bye for now.